Good afternoon. Really, some days you get beat by a better football team, and on this day, they were the better team in all three phases. They, disappointing in how we performed, absolutely, but just weren't good enough today, and it's on me. It's my responsibility to get our team ready to compete and play at the highest level. And based on how we performed throughout the game, it wasn't to our standard. So I'm the head coach. It's on me. So questions?
Coach, with the offense kind of bogging down, not a lot of plays down the field, what was the coaching staff's thoughts about possibly bringing in Michael Penix maybe to get things kick-started?
Yeah, we had those discussions, but decided to stay with Peyton and not make that move. And so that's always something we'll continue to look at and evaluate everything that we're doing, make sure that we're giving ourselves the best chance to win on game day. So that's part of it. So, but a lot more to it than that.
Missed tackles today, maybe more than ever before.
More since I've been here. I really, I'm really disappointed in that. Golly, you take so much pride in that, work so hard in that, and just a little big and physical, and then we just kind of bounced off of them a few times, and that's just disappointing for sure. But I think our youth showed a lot, and that's takes time to get guys grown and physically strong, and we got to get stronger, and we got to get bigger, and we got to get better, So yeah, but I still think some of us is just running your feet and finishing, but big quarterback, big tight ends, big thick backs, So we just got to. I talked about that just a few minutes ago to our team about getting in that weight room and getting stronger. I think it showed up today.
Sammy, then Rick.
Two unsportsmanlike penalties on the bench today. Do you feel what did you say?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Honestly, the first one was on one of our assistants, and he was yelling at one of our players, and the official said he didn't know if he was yelling at him or them, and I just said, "Are you seriously?" That's how it is. And so he was yelling at our corner about his technique because he just got burnt. And so he wasn't looking for the football. And so that was the first one. That's how it was explained to me. And the other one was literally, I stepped on the field about maybe one step, and he was eyeing us like a hawk, and he chose to throw it. So I wasn't even looking at him. So, but that's how it goes. Sometimes you get things like that. But it wasn't like when you sit there and watch it, we weren't like even talking to those guys, So, but for whatever reason, that's the calls they made, and obviously don't like them. But my shirt doesn't have stripes on it.
Rick.
You guys cut it to 14-10. You had the kickoff that they kind of fumbled. Mm-hmm. You had a chance to pin him inside the 5 or 10. Yeah. He runs at 60 yards, and then later in that series, Marcelino had the quarterback sacked, and they throw a touchdown pass to that.
Painful memories right there. I thought when he there's two things that happen usually when the ball is mishandled by a return team. Sometimes it's a disaster for them, and you pin them down inside, 10 or wherever, which is what I thought was going to happen. Or you get everybody down there, and then he missed, a couple guys miss, and then you lose your leverage angles. So obviously the second thing happened, and it's unfortunate because that could have changed the whole complexion of the game. And then we have a sack. Mark Sims is one of our better players, and how he, 9 times out of 10 he's going to finish that play. So I don't know why that was the case today. He had a rough day today. So. But love him. Told him that afterwards. So I'm just going to have to put this one in the trash can and press on because it's one of those kind of days.
Murphy.
Coach, Michael Jett's kick return in the second half, I think, was the first one you guys have had since the Ball State. Mm-hmm. Is there kind of a game plan behind that? Or you kind of letting them make that decision?
No, it's pure game plan. We're trying to maximize the new rule. When you just go through and you really you study the returns and how hard it is to get past the 25 on a consistent basis without any threat of penalty or any threat of the ball being turned over. Okay, as the staff, we've gone through and decided if you start the ball in the 25 every time, you're going to be one of the best teams in the country in field position. So that's the way we've chosen to attack it. And at the end, we said, hey, you know what? We got to try and make something happen. We barely got it to the 20, but when they kick as high as they do, with the athletes that we compete against on a consistent basis, it's challenging to get past the 25. And to be able to get that to the 25 with no threat of penalty or a negative play, then that's the approach we've taken. And so I don't think that's going to change a whole lot. Yes, we do.
Jim and then Mike.
Coach, we know the defense is young. I've been playing pretty well for most of the year, but have given up 12 touchdown passes in the last
Yeah.
2 weeks. Got to be concerning with Trace McSorley and Penn State coming in.
Oh, yeah, there's no question. So, yeah, young back there, young up front, but we got to keep getting better. I felt like that we, needed to, be more aggressive with our guys this week and attacking the receivers and got some holding calls and some interference calls, which you don't want. But, yeah, we got to keep on working and just trying to keep changing things up in regards to, giving some different looks. But it comes back to that whole challenge of pressure, where you have to blitz to be able to get to the quarterback. In order to do that, you're going to have to play, man, and it's going to put some guys on some islands, and they got to rise up and make plays. And so that's a little bit different matchup today. Those big tight ends were tough for us to match up with. More difficult than I was hoping for it to be, but that's the reality of what happened. And those big bodies, and they could run. They outran. Both of them 87-38. Both of them outran us. Which is is what it is. So, but yeah, we got to keep getting better because we got some real good ones coming up.
Mike.
A few things with Morgan Ellison. Can you first explain the timeline, when he started practicing and when he stopped practicing, and then also why?
Yeah, the reality is, we followed all the applicable university rules and policies that our department has, that the university has, followed them all, to everything I was told to do. And so the 13th of September, he was allowed back to practice. And then October 3rd is when he quit practicing. So that's basically where we're at. And so can't comment on it. It's an ongoing situation still. It's not been resolved, so I can't comment about that. But I feel very confident that we did, and I followed the things exactly what I was told to do. So I believe in the system we have in place, the policies we have at our university for this type of situation, and I have confidence in what they're doing. And therefore, I just tell the truth and do what I'm told.
Andy and then Rick.
Talk a little bit about Nate Stanley, 6'4", 242 pounds. Talk about it a little bit.
He's a big dude, and my goodness, we bounced off of him like pinball, which was, I knew he was big. I saw him at the Big Ten Media Days, and I thought he was a big old tight end at first, and big, strong guy that we couldn't get him on the ground, and I don't know. It's just, I'm not going to sit here and, he's a good player. I have a lot of respect for him, but unfortunately today, he was a better player than our guys trying to get him on the ground. So we weren't good enough.
Did they explain to you on the pick that you guys made and the pass interference was called? Did they explain to you what happened on that play?
Yeah, they just, they said that our guy grabbed their guy, and to me it was more of, as he was, I always see it with my own glasses on, and I thought it was a great play by us, and because we were on top of the route. And so when the receiver can't get to the route and you have position on him, that to me is different than a guy grabbing him. And so I felt like we had great position on the route. The ball was, overthrown, and our guy cut. We call it cutting that off. We want to cut routes off. And so I thought he did a great job. It was a huge play in the game. We were, up 3, I believe, at that point, and before their first touchdown. So that's a huge turn of events for us, and had a good return by Jonathan Crawford on the pick. And unfortunately, we got it taken away. So that's what happened, and that's kind of how they explained it. They felt like he grabbed him, and I felt like he just positioned himself properly. So.
Rabbi, last one.
Coach, on the quarterback situation, how are you going to approach it as far as evaluating this Penix play moving forward, and if so, when?
Yeah, that's will be a part of our discussions, because you kind of get to that point of the season where there's no question he will play to maximize the 4 games at minimum. That will happen. How much he plays beyond that is up to our staff. Whatever we feel is best for our team, and that's I want to win as bad as anybody in this room. So we'll do whatever we got to do to put us in position to do that. So that's what the thought process will be.
All right, thanks, Tom.
Appreciate it, Elio.